Welcome to the Successful Life Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Barrier, and today, folks, I got a few questions for you. Do you trust me? Do you want my feedback? When I work with people, I don't have to be right. I don't have to win, right? That's, I might start that over. Shit. Fuck. All right. Welcome to the Successful Life Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Barrier, and today, folks, I have a question for you. Do you trust me? Do you want my feedback? If I throw an idea if you throw an idea towards me and I think it's terrible, are you okay with me telling you that? If we can have an open and honest conversation, you and me, you, the contractor, and I, right? If we can have an open and honest dialogue throughout our relationship, the relationship is going to be fantastic. Like people want to know what's going on. And if you're just open and you're just honest about what it is you're trying to do, the pain points that you have, then we can fix that, right? So I'm going to go through a few of the Sandler rules today. I'm not a Sandler trainer. However, I've gone through more Sandler stuff than I can even tell you. So the first thing about Sandler's bonding and rapport. Now, a lot of people think that bonding and rapport is talking about, the grass, how green the grass is, right? Or how pretty the car is in the driveway, or the Raiders sign in the living room, right? That's what most people do. That's not bonding and rapport. Why are you talking about a Raiders sign if you're there to fix a toilet? That has nothing to do with why you're there. Right? Bonding and rapport is getting people to know, like, and trust you. What I mean by that is through your body language, through your tonality. Hey, if you can pay attention to how that customer's reacting to you and you can match and mirror that, then you're going to be bonding and rapport. Jesus Christ, I messed that up. That's bonding and rapport. So another part of that is, the three elements of communication, which is body language, tonality, and the words that we use. Now, here's what's nuts, right? Those three things, the percentages of those three things are, it's kind of weird. I'll be honest with you. 55% of that equation is body language. That's facial expressions, the way your body moves, obviously. Then tonality is 38% of that. So what I mean by tonality, that's the voice inflection. It's, when my voice goes really high or it goes really low, that's tonality. And then 7% is the words that we use. All right, so the next step in this is the upfront contract. I love this. This is so important. Now, upfront contract, when you hear the word contract, you're like, well, you shouldn't say contract. Yeah, you should in this situation. All this is saying, hey, look, on the call today, we're going to spend 30 minutes. Here are the things that we're going to accomplish. I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to ask me some questions. And at the end of this, we're going to make a decision. And that's the upfront contract. People want to know the beginning and they want to know the end. People don't like mind reading. They don't want to guess what it is you're going to do in the call, right? If you can help the customer or the client, whoever it is you're talking to use less brain energy, I guarantee you'll have a more successful call, period. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the pain questions, right? Corey, our technicians, our CSRs are really, they're slacking. Tell me more about that, Mr. Customer. Can you be more specific about that situation, Mr. Customer? Give me an example of what your technicians and your CSRs are doing. How much do you think that's costing you? right? And most of the time, they're not going to have an answer for that. But here's how you can get an answer. Hey, let's look at how many open estimates that you've got. Let's look at how many estimates you don't have closed, and that'll tell you exactly how much this is costing you. Now, that's a painful number for a lot of people. Really painful. So, but you got to, at the end of the day, you got to look at these things if you want to get better. And that's just all there is to it. So, the next thing is the budget, right? You've got to talk about how much money you have set aside. If I'm talking to you for this project, you got to know how much money you're willing to spend for me to come in and help you, or for somebody else to come in and help you. Or if in your situation, if you're the contractor, it's important to know what the budget is for your customer, right? If you're talking to them about a $30,000 HVAC system and they don't have, 3 pennies to their name, you're wasting your time, right? It doesn't make sense for you to go through a whole sales pitch if you don't know if they've got the money to do it, or the credit to do it, or whatever the case may be. And it's like myself, I can't give you a proposal if I don't know how much your budget is. Like, it seems kind of crazy to think that I would put together a proposal without any data from you. Some people do think that, though. It's nuts. Next, you got to make a decision, right? And if you say, well, Corey, I got to think about it. That's a decision. Not making a decision is a decision. And so in my world, not making a decision is a decision. That's a no for me. Because if somebody says, I got to think about it, or I got to whatever BS they give you, that's a slow no, right? They're just telling you no in a really slow way. Maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings. Maybe they even told you they like you and they're going to get back with you. And now you're like, oh man, they like me. Of course this is going to work. Wrong. I'll get back with you is a slow no. That's all it is. That's all it is. And look, here's the next thing. You got to set another meeting. Don't leave the call without setting another meeting. For example, if somebody calls into your plumbing or your HVAC company and they say, look, or you say, your CSR says, hey, we don't have anything on the books till next Thursday, and it's Monday. The customer says, God, I don't want to wait that long. Mr. Customer, I totally understand. Let's go ahead and get you on the books. And if anything happens, if you find somebody else to come out sooner, just give us a call. We'll cancel the appointment. Not a problem. But let's go ahead and secure a spot on the books. So that way next week it rolls around and you're not in this same spot. And people appreciate that. People appreciate you doing that. So it's the same thing with me, right? I don't typically get off a call unless I have another book call. Why? Because it keeps me in front of the person and it keeps me in contact. And that's how I work. I'm not going to do a proposal for you and email it to you. We're going to go over it so I can explain exactly what it means so you understand exactly what I mean it means. I don't know if that made sense or not, but you get the point. Anyhow, so look, go back and listen to this. This is packed full of a ton of information if you're a business owner or if you're in sales or whatever. You can use this stuff in your own relationships. You can use this in every part of your life. And that's just a fact. But you got to practice it. If you don't practice it, you're not going to do very good at it. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the other side.